Welcome back to the channel, hopefully you're all doing well. Today's episode we've got a few bits and bobs coming up. We've got a problem with a shower pump up in the roof which turned out to be a bit of an interesting one. Let me know what you think on this one actually when you see it, because it took a little bit of getting my head around what they'd done, but I think I worked out why they'd done it and why, and I kind of explained why I did what I did. And then we've got a problem with a microfill, which ended up tracing the fault back on that, so that was a little bit of a different one as well. And yeah, I'll try and include a few different bits and bobs. Somebody sent me a package all the way from Australia actually. I'm not going to show you it now because I'm in a little bit of a mess, and it's quite a precious item I think. So yeah, I'll show you that at the end, and yeah, hopefully enjoy this one. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you straight on the jobs. I got a call to this job the other day. It's a slightly strange setup. What's happened is they've had an unvented cylinder put in, and I'm guessing it used to have a twin pump here, so boosting the hot and the cold. There's two showers down there. What they've done is they've linked the hot through, and then they've put a single pump in here which pumps the cold. The problem is I was going to tie it back onto the cold main, from the tank feed onto the cold main, to do away with this pump, but it's all galvanized steel. I'll show you the tank in a minute. It's all galv, and that's why they've put this pump in here, because I would say they couldn't tie it back across. So it's a 28mm feed that runs pretty much the whole length of this attic. I don't know how far it runs, quite a long way across. So what I'm going to do is, I've thought about long and hard on this one. I'm going to put this negative head pump on, and I think this will cure it. The problem is they've put a positive one on, and there's not, well, there is head on it because the tank's up there, but really I think a negative one would be better. What's happening is, it's obviously works for quite a while, but the showers, it's not letting any cold through. I messed about with it the other day. I was trying to put it through my wet vac in case it had airlocks, and I just couldn't get that pump to come on. But they said it had been fine, it had been working, so I'm guessing it's just that pump that's failed. As I say, I did think about linking it through onto the mains, but I just can't get to it. So I'm just going to put another pump in, a negative one, and see how we go. Basically what happens is the showers just come through, they run for about 2-3 minutes, until it sort of clicks off on its thermostat, and then the showers just sort of bounce hot and cold. Because the thermostatic showers, because it's not mixing with the cold, the showers are just cutting on and off, because it can't blend itself down. So I'm going to get this pump swapped out. What I'm going to have to do is crawl right to the far end to get that feed off that end. There's multiple outlets off that tank as well. I'm going to put a lever valve this end this time, and they're going to renew this with 22, do away with this 15, take 22 into the pump, and I think that'd be better. As you see, it is a strange setup. The problem is everything's galv here, at the other end as well. So that's what I'm going to do, and we'll see if it works. The negative head ones are better really for sighting in the attic. That is okay if you're like down in the airing cupboard or something like that, but as I say, we can only do what we can do on jobs. But it's going to be a nightmare. We'll go and get that feed off for a start and get a valve this end, because normally when you fit an unvented cylinder you link this tank out, but because there's no access to it, that's why they've left it and put the single in. But it's just absolute nightmare. It just goes on and on and on. I say when you get to the far end, it's all galv, so I've got to climb over here, climb over the next one, climb over the next one, and that tank's down there. You can see all the feeds drop. Well, you maybe can't, they drop down and run across, but it's all galv. You can see people have been walking down here before because the insulation's all flat. I mean, I did come down here the other day and it was like it. It's boarded down here. You can see the old heating pipes there, and then the ones on the tank are all galv at the back. So we just need to get the lever valve off on there and get that draining. Which is our inlet, that's our outlet, so that one. Let's get a tray under it. This one should be empty. Which is I don't know why they put a valve this end. It made life a lot easier, wouldn't it? Oh. And this one will have water in it. I'm just going to pre-paste a lever valve, because I don't want to get tons of water coming at me all of a sudden. I don't think it will. The valve's off at the other end. We might as well get that there, haven't we, if we can. Get it going, just go in there. Makes that much easier to work on. Think about the next man all the time. Or the next person, I shouldn't say man. That's hypocritical. Right, that gives us control. This one's got rubber pads on the feet, so well, there's nowhere to screw it down to anyway. So which is our inlet? It should be an arrow. That's normally the inlet on them. Yeah, it is. That's the inlet, that's the outlet. These new ones do actually come with isolation points on the flexes, but if you ever change the pump, you're probably changing the flexes, so I've put another one there. As I say, it just helps the next person. Right, you actually have to download the instructions on this. I mean, technically, the pump, it will work because the tank's above, but normally I'd like to have a gravity fall from the tank feed into the inlet of the pump. These flexes, you don't want to kink across. You're okay to sort of do them on a small sweep and bend like that, but you can't like kink them, if that makes sense. I'm just wondering whether to, I don't know if the pipework will need clipping. Sometimes if you make the pipework too rigid, it can actually make it rattle more. So I'm tempted just to press an elbow on there. The pipework's all rigid, that end. I don't know if we can fix the pump down. I'm tempted just to sweep it across and then see if it works, and then if not, I'll just make some Munson clips up with some threaded bar onto that wall. Which is our inlet, that's our outlet. I'm probably just going to press a 90 on that feed there, and then just swing it across into there, and then the inlet, we'll just swing it across somehow like that, I think. The other good thing with these press elbows, they're swept a little bit, or they are swept, so less resistance. And it's quicker, and when you're up in the roof it's safer. So I'm going to go to the other end, we'll get the water back on, and then I just have to wire it up and we'll see if it works. I'll see if I've got some lagging in the van as well for this. I did have some on, but it's 15mm. Right, we'll switch that on. Before, when you put it on, oh, so that's just cold. That's a lot more pressure. And then before, when you put it on hot, the shower would cut out as soon as it got up to temperature. I think that's working now. That's coming hot. The shower's not cutting out. Beautiful. So that has fixed it. Both of them showers are running perfectly now. They're getting up to temperature. Well, there's the thermostat anyway. So before, as I say, they were clicking off because it wasn't getting any cold water to them. But now they're perfect. So imagine, I mean, that's a 2.5 bar pump. And the hot will be 3 bars. So it's more or less the balanced pressure now. So I can't see it being an issue. As I say, I think ideally what it wants that tank doing away with and then repiping through in the main. But it's just so hard to get to, and there's other outlets off that tank as well, but that should be okay. I mean, that pump, if that old pump lasted 4 years, you know, it's not done bad, has it? So yeah, that's what I've done on this one, and that's got it sorted. I'm just going to get some lagging out and then we'll get out of it. That's just put a bit of lagging on that part just to protect it. I am going to take the clips off there, but to be honest with you, the pump's all rigid. I don't think it needs clipping back to the wall. So yeah, I'm happy. Job done. I've got this Mikrofill to change on this job. This one didn't have an engineered fill on it, so I'm probably going to put an engineered fill on it, just with a standard fill loop. I just rigged this up temporary last night. Problem is this PRV's leaking as well, so we need to get that one swapped out. So yeah, we'll get it sorted. Here the pumps are a bit noisy because I think it's run a bit low on pressure. So yeah, we'll get it sorted. It should be straightforward enough. This was a bit of a bodge last night just to get it going, but it did the job. Switch that one off, and then we can work on this side, and I'll probably try and rig it back in here. I can always put a valve on here if I need to as well. I should have said all this Mikrofill does is keep the heating system at the correct pressure. So because this is fluid cat 4 water inside here, you can't fill it with a standard fill loop. So there's an air gap inside, it dumps it through here. But because it's got a leak on it as well, it's been topping itself up. This is packed up, well, this has been disconnected for a while apparently. Yeah, and it doesn't power up, and there's water pours out of it as soon as you switch it on. So I guess that's why it's been turned off. So I'm just going to get it swapped out. That's your cold filling. I think they come with a flexi. If you hard pipe them up, they tend to get a lot of vibration through the unit and on the mains and stuff. So I'll check what it comes with anyway. That's your heating fill. So that connects onto your heating system, and then that's just your dump, your air gap inside. So when it fills up, it dumps a little bit out there to give you the air gap inside the unit. Nice and easy, does it every time. See if I can get a T in there, and then we'll just put a fill loop out to this side or something. We'll leave it disconnected, but if it ever goes wrong again, at least you can sort of manually bypass it. That pump is very annoying in the background, but I'll leave the heating on as long as possible. That should get that disconnected. It should lift off its bracket then. And that screw on top from memory should undo. That's got the thing lifted off. I might change the bracket, I might leave it if it's the same. I mean, it's only a bracket in it. So we'll see what the new unit is like. Looks pretty good to me, so it's going to be the same, I think. So as I say, heating fill, they send that flexi for the cold, so that nut and olive comes off there, and that should discharge out. So we'll get it hung on the wall, and we'll get it piped back up. So that looped around there before, and just connected onto that main, but I'm going to put a T here. I'm going to use this one here for my fill loop, but I'll take that valve off there, put my, my *1 for my fill loop on there, and we'll just get that piped in, I think. Discharge will obviously go back the same, and then we'll whip this one out there, get that sorted, and then we'll check all the system. And then pump's making a hell of a noise. Then that one sounds alright, doesn't it? Probably got a load of air in there, hasn't it? The air tap's at the top. I'll turn this lock shield here off, because this will isolate that Mikrofill on the heating side. I know I shouldn't use grips on it, but here, see if I go back to the van. If it even works, which it probably don't. Put a flexi on it, and I'll empty it into my folding bucket. Safe lodge in the place, won't it? Is that valve holding? That should just stop. If not, we're emptying the system. With a bit of jiggery pokery on that other valve that is holding now. So we can get that one swapped. That's got a check valve built in. Always put your check valve one on the cold water main side and the standard one on the heating side. It just means if you want to drain that down as well, you can put a hose on that. It makes life so easy. We will have to leave this disconnected, but I'll probably fill it back up via that fill loop. I've got some caps for these as well in the van, so we'll cap them off. I've also put another double check valve on there just to protect it as well. So yeah, it should be alright. We've just got to join that one up into there. Bit of jet blue on it. That will go in there like that. That's the unit pipe back in, and then we just got the discharge to do, and then this to change on here. I think I've got a Flamco one in the van. Flamco 3-bar 3/4. Just power this off a minute. Change that one. I need this one here off. If it'll turn. Looks like somebody's already snapped one off down there, and we need the return for that boiler off as well, which is this one here. That one will probably work, but this one, I don't know. I really don't want to snap that off. Please don't snap off. Trying to see if you can see if it's been dripping a while. Sometimes it gets like scale build up. It's got a little bit of brown inside, but we'll get it swapped out. Got to be a bit careful here because I don't know if that valve's fully off. Yeah, I think we'll be alright. I'll have to check the expansion vessel as well. It feels okay. I did tap it. There we go. We'll check this. I'll get my gauge out of the van. It should be about 1 bar, I would have thought. I mean, it's got air in it, but I will check it. Please don't snap. Please don't snap. Please don't snap. You haven't snapped. It is a crane one, so they're normally pretty good quality, but won't be the first time, would it? The low pressure switches in these Evo Maxes, I think it's set to 0.3 of a bar. So you can use them on tank fed systems. We're currently at 1 bar. But I'm just going to get that Mikrofill wide in. I'm going to run the system about between 1 and 1.5 should be fine. Just make sure that's not leaking. Shouldn't be. So I've just wired that up. This one's not actually linked into the panel. Sometimes you find these linked into the BMS. So if the Mikrofill goes to fault, it will cut the boilers off. But it's not been done like that on this site. So it sort of runs as an independent standalone unit. We'll have that one on. And that one on. That one on, and we'll have the fuse back in, please. Please don't blow up. Please don't blow up. I've got no power onto that Mikrofill, so I've just opened up the panel. But it doesn't come from this panel, I don't think. They're both boilers. Zone 1 heating, Zone 2 heating, Zone 3, that's the shunt pump, and they're detectors outside temperatures. So it'd have to come down here, I would have thought, if it's coming in. But it doesn't appear to be, unless they've piggybacked it off something. It just runs round in that trunking, around. I can't see any of their isolators. It's coming in its metal trunking, so I don't know where it's getting its power from at the minute. Everything looks okay. These are heating pumps. That's a shunt pump. There's no Mikrofill. Probably when it got wet, it's obviously tripped something, but I don't know where it's tripped yet. Certainly not here, but it looks. I've had my tester on there. I've got no power into that spare. It's definitely going that way along. It must drop down there, and then that just feeds into that panel. I've traced it all the way back and that fuse there is dead, so I've just swapped it. This one is okay. I'll put that one back in and see if it works. So I think it was coming in on that one, but let me just see if I can do this one-handed. That fuse, I can't really do it one-handed, but that one's dead. Luckily there was a spare one in the bottom, spare fuses, so thank you whoever left that. I will power this back up. I'll put all that cover back on in a second. Right, now we've got power, so it obviously popped that fuse when it leaked. I've just got to put this trunking back. I just needed to see where it was fed from. So we've got system pressure is 1.1 bar, that's normal. We can run through all this now. So it's set for 1.5 bar, that's probably out of the factory. That'll be about right anyway, to be honest with you. It's quite a big building. So I'll just get all these covers put back on. Put the screws, when did I put the screws? I stabbed them in the lagging. As soon as this reaches 1.5 in a second, any second now, you'll see it discharge to give it an air gap in the middle. You just need to check the set pressure of the expansion vessel now as well. So why is it? Stop filling, that's right, that's right. There you go, it's dumped it. This return down here, it was cold yesterday when I came. It's red hot now. I think it's because it dropped all its pressure, got a load of air, and I went round and bled it all. But it's coming back red hot. It probably means that half of the building's working. That circuit were fine, it was them across there. I've cleaned up a little bit now, so I'm going to show you this. This has come all the way from Australia, somebody sent me this. It's come with the note, so I'll read you the note first. It says, "Hello Tom, my name is Bill. I'm a plumber gas fitter living and working in Townsville, North Queensland, Australia. I'm 52 and been plumbing the last 25 years. I'm writing to you because I have a gift for you. Enclosed is an old plumbing book from the 1800s. The book is an insight to plumbing from a bygone era. A friend of mine gave me the book about 10 years ago. Not sure where the book came from before that. Also, the book is from Britain, so I can't think of a better custodian than you. I know you from your YouTube channel, been watching you for the last 18 months. It's so interesting to see how you plumbers do things in Britain. I think you're a great plumber and I love your attitude towards the job. You always do your best and are genuine. You're an asset to the plumbing trade. Anyway, mate, I will sign off. Keep up the good work, Tom. Regards, Bill, the plumber from Australia." Thank you so much, Bill, for sending me that. Honestly, you don't need to send me anything, but I'll treasure this for the rest of my life. It's got some really interesting. I've not had a proper look through it all yet, but it's got some really interesting bits and bobs in there. It's one of the oldest books I've ever handled. Anyway, I feel like I probably should be wearing gloves, but my hands are clean. At the end of the day, these things were, you know, this would have been like the plumber's Bible back in the day. You know, a plumber would have had this. And this would have had all the regs and bits and bobs. There's standpipes, there's pumps, there's all sorts of different things. Obviously, how things have changed, I find it fascinating, I really do. And I do want to make some videos in the future of like a day in the life. I know I've said in the past, I just need to get a load of, it's so hard researching stuff, but I want to make some videos of a day in the life of a plumber from the past. I've been collecting stuff, old plumbing tools and stuff like that. So an old lamp I picked up at a sale. I don't think it's ever been used. That one's nearly in perfect condition, but I want to get some of these back up and working. It's like, if you don't record information, you know, stuff gets lost. I mean, when you look on Google and stuff like that, it's so hard to research stuff. So if anybody's got any like old pictures or anything like that of, you know, tools or anything, any information, I'm really like interested in stuff like that. And I want to do, if I do make the videos, I want to do it justice. You know, get all the period costumes. You know, when you look at the old plumbing books and that, what the plumbers used to wear, you know, what it would have been like. You know, I don't want to just do like a video of me using a gas lamp. I actually want to make it genuine. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to use lead pipes and stuff like that, but you know, if I can get a job where I'm fitting an old cast iron radiator or something like that, you know, try and make it as authentic as possible. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you, Bill, for sending me that. I will treasure that for the rest of my life. I do really appreciate it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you all next time.